The LINK program seeks to provide investment facilitation grants as well as non-funding activities to stimulate angel investing and to support the development of deal flow for early-stage investment. The facility will provide co-investment grants to a maximum of $100,000 per company and investment readiness grants up to $30,000 to startups and early-stage enterprises that show good growth potential.
It's often lamented by the private sector that one of the key hindrances to doing business in the region is, of course, access to finance. In fact, 60% of private sector entrepreneurs surveyed identify that this is the single biggest obstacle to expansion and growth for them in the region. The difficulty we have found is that liquidity is not the problem. It is the mechanism by which we get our SMEs to that liquidity. The majority of SMEs are resorting to credit card financing. This further places them in a very vulnerable position, as we all know that high interest rates can easily lead to further indebtedness. Through this initiative, we intend to facilitate increased levels of equity financing going to early and growth stage SMEs, primarily through angel investors, and by so doing increase the growth potential of our firms.
A part of the agenda of the EPIC program to facilitate access to financing, partners in the program include the Canadian government and the World Bank.
Startups and early-stage firms face even more serious challenges in attracting funding compared to other firms, primarily because of the risk profile. Traditional financiers, banks, or private equity funds will not go in to support early-stage firms unless there's some assurance that they can get their money back and these firms will grow and succeed. But of course, as we all know, many of these firms don't grow and don't succeed and they fail. So there's an element of risk involved, and this is where we come in.
There's a lot of things into economic growth. It can mean attracting investment, supporting more entrepreneurship, diversification of the economy. But a lot of it is about innovation, and the EPIC program is all about innovation. I think this program is all about ensuring that youth are able to join the big train that is out there in the global economy and that is driving actually all the economy.
In his feature address, Senator the Honourable Darcy Boyce, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister of Barbados, emphasised what angel investors look for in investment opportunities.
Angel investors are not typically interested in research and development or testing of prototypes. They want to invest in a young business that has engaged successfully with its customer base and has begun to earn revenues or is close to doing so. Angel investors typically do not invest their capital of all sorts in businesses and go away to let the project proponent run the business on his own. Angel investors take a very active role in the management of the new business, and project proponents have to learn to live with this. The more involved the angel investor is, the greater the likelihood of success of the business, and the faster the growth in its value. The angel investors need to know from the beginning of their participation how they will be able to get back their investment and the returns out of the businesses that they invest into.
The objective is really to help develop early stage financing ecosystem in the Caribbean. And we want to do that by building a network of Caribbean angel investors. We want to stimulate private investment through grant financing. And the grant here is really to help remove some inhibiting barriers to deals being done. And we want to work with the early stage enablers and the firms to make sure that we're increasing the volume and quality of deal flows. To achieve this, we're introducing the Regional Angel Investor Network. RAIN is simply about bringing investors and entrepreneurs in a network that allows for the demand and supply to be there and to connect. RAIN uses an online platform to connect the business angels and, of course, the early stage investors. And the platform, of course, serves as an access point for entrepreneurs to get in touch with the angels. RAIN prepares firms for investors. We train them on how to pitch to angel investors. We showcase their businesses to various investors. We provide them access to information on angel investing. So we want to make sure they understand what they're talking about, what they're doing. And of course, increase visibility of the investors. Now, this increased visibility part, I think, is very important, because what RAIN does is that it provides a place, it provides somewhere for entrepreneurs to go. They now know where they can go to actually get and speak to angel investors. And I think that's something that's very, very important. The investment facilitation grants are designed to stimulate private investment into companies. We basically have two types: investment readiness grant and the co-investment grant. In terms of the investment readiness grant, so let's say you have a company, they've been to an investor, the investor says, listen, you are almost there. You're almost investor ready. Not quite. There are a couple of things with your business model that if you address those things and you come back to us, then we may be in business. We may be able to do a deal. So what this grant is all about, and it's capped at $25,000 is, can we provide a capital injection into these companies to allow them to address some of those things in the short term?
Caribbean Export's Link facility is unlike any other, linking startups with investors.
This is the very first program of its kind anywhere in the world. I think that's worth the fact that the World Bank was willing to do this with us and to put in place a regional program owned by member governments. And I think the support from the CARIFORM Secretariat, from our member states, our board members, has made it such that Caribbean Export has the credibility to be able to partner with the World Bank to basically pilot a prototype of this nature.
In Bridgetown, Barbados, I'm Kent Jordan.